Hey guys, welcome back to a review for One Piece chapter 1134 called The Owl Library. And man, right, I don't even want to wait, if they haven't read it, spoilers already, that the ending Oda, what have you done and who is this person that you have shown to us at the end? There are so many theories bursting like through the community. It's so we knew it. Shanks is evil. Shanks is evil. He's actually the villain, of course. But the other side is saying no. It stabs. We were saying it was a twin brother. Always, it was not that person who met with the Gorosei. It stabs, and there's so many more questions unanswered, and we'll keep talking about it. But it kind of makes sense why that's the person that met with the Gorosei, because it makes no sense how Shanks would get there, but it kind of like makes sense. Like the way Oda does it kind of makes sense because Garling in the past looks so close to Shanks that Shanks was fallen from Great Celestial Dragon, or kicked off for some reason, whatever, banned, banished, and he is part Celestial Dragon, so they humor that they listen to him, like they listen to him because he has some lineage. But now it's like, okay, well, this person just came in. Anyway, let's get through the chapter. I'm going to read some parts. The cover page, beautiful, representation for Frankie, and the current news that the voice actor is stepping down from playing as Frankie. Very tragic. His very, very iconic, super voice lines and everything for Frankie is, it's going to be missed. And a beautiful cover page paying homage and just starts into the chapter, and I love this. Like the Frankie mech looks sick. Oda art is amazing. And before we get into the chapter, please let me know, guys, if the audio is good, video is good. Let me know if there's anything I can improve on. Too low, too loud, lighting maybe. But I would appreciate it. Like, comment, let me know. And let's go through the chapter. And Luffy, the way that Luffy starts is awesome. Just I don't know where he found this out, and like why he got this, but he's introducing himself. Formal introductions as Luffy. Like I've never really seen him feel this, but like this whole second half since past Wano, he's been growing as a captain, and the very slow change into being a leader and being a Yonko has absolutely like changed him. And it's not like absolute, like you've seen his growth, and it feels even better because it's so slow through the years. It's great. It's great. And it looks funny because he doesn't really know how to do it, and he's just kind of like doing this one thing, like, I'm Luffy, thank you for taking care of one of my youngsters. Like, dude, she's older than you. And Saul, and like I in my head I'm like, dude, you're a Yonko. And Saul mentions, you're a Yonko, dude. I know who you are. You're Luffy. You're the captain of the Straw Hats. And like he has to remember, he is one of the four emperors now, and his name carries a ton of weight. And Robin saying, these are the people that are going to protect me, and they all bawl out again, and it's great. I love it. I love it. I know some people were mentioning that they have some dislike that Saul is still alive. I am I'm indifferent about it. I do understand 100% why it is feels bad for the story that Saul is alive, because that initial representation that he is dead in the beginning of the story in Robin's flashback is completely like, the emotion is now no in a reread, knowing that he's alive slashes it by 50% on the emotion, even more to be honest, because he's alive. But having him stay alive does had some implications to the story that he can help with. So I'm very divided. It does affect the beginning of the story on her backstory to 100%. But I don't have really a big opinion on it because I don't prefer it, I guess. But at the same time, he's gonna help the story move forward. So I'm very 50-50 on it. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not gonna dive into it right now. But yeah, we get to meet some giant pirates. He meets Vegapunk again, and he's like, "Why are you a woman now?" I'll explain it in the meantime. It's because you're a clone. And then there are some things going through the story where You have the Saul comes back, and then you also have Vegapunk, and saying this is a perfect replica of the one Vegapunk that came 20 years ago or you saw 20 years ago. I forgot. And I mean, I never assumed Vegapunk's dead because the brain is still alive. The there's the whole methodology of the consciousness, but the brain is still alive. So I feel like the Vegapunk original is still in that. You just have to make him a body in this case. So I never assumed Vegapunk's dead because 7 parts of his personality are split as in the Stellas, and the only one that isn't connected right now is Lilith, I think, to the system. So you can't make the original Vegapunk again, but he is still there. And and his brain is still there, and his brain is still alive per se. So I think he's still alive. Like, he is in my head, he's still alive. You can make him again, and they made a perfect replica of this Vegapunk in this story. So he's like a clone. Actually, they said he's a clone in this. So, oh man, my eyes are hurting. That's weird. And so I think this is like a perfect, near perfect replica of the one. Maybe he doesn't have all the new information put in, and he can't connect to their network, but he is still very smart. He can still do everything Vegapunk would be able to do in science wise. And maybe Lilith is still connected actually. We'll dive more into that deeper. But this also replicate indicates that they're gonna make a lab here. They're gonna set up, make a lab, and Frankie can still get upgrades. So he didn't get upgrades in Egghead, but he is gonna work with this Vegapunk Lilith to create the lab, and he's gonna have access to the Atom Wood. And they also mentioned that in the chapter they mentioned that they have increased trade. They've not thrown away, but like they've changed their ways and they've started trading with other nations, which means that's how they're getting Atom Wood out to the society in other places, and how Frankie was able to purchase Atom Wood. So, and then also Bonnie comes in and says, "Can you fix my dad?" And that's the one that I'm like, oh man, you're ruining a lot of backstories for me right now, because I thought, at least from reading it, that Kuma is essentially dead. Like, you can argue 100% with the ice and Saul being frozen and then thawed out, and he survives. Sure. But having Vegapunk be the one that essentially kills Kuma and takes away his consciousness, his will, I don't know. That's the one where I'm just like, I thought he was gonna be dead, but they did keep his body. So in the back of your mind, it feels like he would still be able to be brought back somehow. So I don't know how I feel about that one. I haven't delved into it, but maybe I make a video about, Saul, Bonnie, and Kuma, and Vegapunk still being technically alive. Well, no, still being alive in this sense. And Bonnie and Lilith says, yeah, we can bring back Kuma with no doubt at all. So I'm like, well, if you could have done that the whole time, why was it so bad to pull the lever in the first place if you could just kind of like snap your fingers and say, yeah, we could fix him? I don't know. We get introduced to some other giants, Ange, and then we get a tour of Oda's art on this arc has been fabulous. Elbaf has looked absolutely stunning, and they met some giant kids. uh, they're mentioning, oh, you're gonna be the new warriors, right? You're gonna go fight bandits, and they're like, no, that's so out of touch. We don't do that's not trending anymore, and that feels like a hallmark or callback. Not even callback. It just feels like now is the time. Is everything's different. It's like, wait, what do you mean you're not gonna be warriors? No. We're not gonna do none of that. We're reading. We're not studying to be warriors or fighting or anything. And they're kind of Usopp shocked. Luffy and Zoro are like, are these people real? Are these people are real giants? And we meet with the teacher, a bio teacher, Ripley, and she's mentioning that we don't do that anymore. Our old king has imposed new rules, new laws, and change of life to trade with other countries instead of being warriors and fighting all the time. And she just like appeared out of nowhere because she's so giant. She was just laying in the grass, and they didn't realize they were stepping on her. And then she is the one that mentions, "Oh, you have that white form, right?" Luffy says, "Yeah, that's my freedom form." And she's trails off. Oda teasing, just trails off. "Oh, we're part of the last generation that what? You're part of the last generation of what? That know the myth, that fought using hint, like knowing the legend. What do you? The last generation? You just show them the form." But I'm assuming he's gonna show the form in a gathering, having that party, that feast. At the end of the party, they're gonna have exchange stories, and they're gonna say, "You have a white form. Can you show us?" And he does, and then they realize that's Nika. That's our fabled god or something, or would they know about the god? And they since less generations pass between giants, they can retell the story better versus a lifespan of a human being, let's say 80, 90 years. They lose it in generations, and in time the story changes a little bit, that it actually gets lost. Maybe they don't get to say it to the next person and next generation. But then Saul shows Robin the library, and the books, the tiny books, magically become giant books so they can read them. And Saul probably has a lot of information and probably shows Robin the most important books in the library. But it's a very beautiful callback to the library of Ohara and how he was able to save all the books from there. And at the end, well, nearing the end, we have Loki talking to a snail that is just all like fuzzied up because it's snow resistant. And it's weird because it's talking to this person like it cares for this person, and it's talking like it'll defend this person if it was in that area. And I can't tell who that would be. I think I read this person that they were arguing or fighting against, it would have been Shanks. That's who they would have fought if they were there. And I'm not sure. It just leaves a what's it called, a defensive nature to Loki to this person. And I can't tell. They call them Mosaku. So I don't know. I haven't delved into that name too much. What was that? Delved into that name too much. But yeah, he's just can't wait to get. Oh, okay, it's the cat. I was like, well, the sound was there, and he can't wait to get, released from these chains. And at the very end of the chapter, we have another black lightning, and we see a summoning circle in the castle. So, the only time we've seen the summoning circle is with the Gorosei. And the face that we see while they're partying, the face that we see is somebody, a woman that, or at least it looks like a woman that has her face covered up, and someone that looks very, very much like Shanks. Oda, what are you doing, man? What are you doing to me? So is this person a relative of Garling, and it looks like Shanks' lineage, somebody that is related to Shanks? Is it Shanks' twin brother? Is it somebody that's using a clone? Is it not clone? My bad. Is it somebody that's using a fruit that replicates how Shanks looks? Is it Katarina Devon? But how is she? Maybe she's using the transportation circle because she copied Saturn's transportation circle. But would how would she have been able to copy Shanks? I don't know. Maybe she was. No, I don't know. There's so many questions. Okay, so there's so many things with this implication. Is it regular Shanks that's able to use a transportation circle because he's talked to the Goros and he kind of knows a lot more than regular people, and he can use the transportation circle as well? Or but I feel like the transportation circle comes from being the powers of Imu. So, It's either because it looks like a 5 star uh, pentagon shape, right? No, this one doesn't look like a pentagon, but it is a 5 stars, and it could be a demonic summoning circle, which is what Saturn used. There's so many questions that go unanswered here, and it goes into breaks. I'm pretty sure there's no chapter that comes out next week until the New Year's or after the New Year's. But man, there is so many theories and implications to this, but I'm excited to keep reading. Let me know what you guys think. Any theories for the next chapter is they all finally gather up. They start heading towards the party, the feast, because everybody kind of just gathers back, and we get some more storytelling, some theory, not theories, storytelling, the news, Elbaf stuff, catching up, maybe some info dump on Loki, the Elbaf info dump, and we get to see, or maybe we are leading to see, and maybe left on a cliffhanger that Luffy is gonna go into Gear 5, showing them the white form, and then they can delve into who this character for Nika is in the mythology. But I'm super excited. Anything else? Anything else I'm missing? So I'm very excited for Frankie to hopefully in this arc get some much needed upgrades. I really want him to get a buff on technological buff because Vegapunk's gonna be there. They can bounce ideas off each other and do some upgrades to the Sunny in this case and in this regard. And they have the Atom Tree so they can reinforce the Sunny to be even stronger. Maybe do any upgrades that need to be done to the Sunny ship and make it into the future Pluton that it's gonna be meant to be, or we're hoping for it to be. Because I assume Blackbeard's gonna get a very strong weapon with the information that Caribou's gonna give him, and Frankie's gonna have to make the weapon that will counter a ancient weapon, and they're gonna make the Pluton counter or the Pluton counterpart in this case. Super excited for Frankie to get some buffs and get some more information on that, and for Luffy to finally go into his Gear 5 form in front of all the giants, and they can finally say what this form truly is in the history. So that's it for me, guys. Please let me know if you've enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. Please leave me a like, comment, subscribe, and if there's anything that you want me to talk about, please let me know. But for now, that's it for me, and I'll see you for the next one.